Evergreen. Hi. So let's get started. Okay, looks like it's 15 o'clock GMT already. So I saw some of you guys post what you guys are looking for in the next 24, 40 hours in my Telegram. So I'll go through those one as well. And let's get started. Okay, I'll just quickly go over again my positions that I'm in. We're still in Kiwi Cat here. Okay, almost take me out. I'll tell you my management behind it was my stop loss was here, about 2 to 1 or so, like I said, and then just this was like the last correction before the down move. So I just set my stop loss over here. This move almost took me out, but managed to hold it. We dropped down. Now it's forming potentially another correction. So, but my alert, well, I'll set somewhere around here because I don't want this to kind of trickles up once more to hit the top here, and then kind of took me out for another, 1 or 2 percentage or so. So, but I'll keep an eye on this. I still like what I'm seeing here. This can just be kind of a head and shoulder pattern. It's kind of weird to see a head and shoulder at the bottom of the structure, but this is a left shoulder. There can be a head. This is a right shoulder. We can potentially continue drop down as well. Okay, so that's a possibility here. Um, but the more likely, in my opinion, is this can just continue take up once more to the previous top, form a double top, and this is just a larger structure we're making now, and then potentially we're just still dropping down afterwards. So, but if I see this kind of impulsive push up there, I'm not likely to want to hold this. I'd rather take profit here for about 3.5 to 1 or so, something like that, and then look to see what happened here. If there's reversal possibility, then I can look to re-enter here because we're kind of retrace back to kind of around halfway of this correction now. So there's still a lot of risk reward down to the previous low, even just to the previous low. But obviously, ultimately, we're seeing the overall move to the downside, right? So that's my plan. That's my management. That is my plan behind this trade. We'll see what happened in the upcoming 24, 40 hours. Another one, I'm in Euro Kiwi. Remember this second trade I entered just got out to break even here, unfortunately. But as I said in my trading analysis and my streams, I mentioned if this correction is finished and I like what I'm seeing for this correction, then I'll look for another buy opportunity. So second trade got out for break even, and then first trade still running here. So I still like the overall price action. This is still a descending channel that we had impulse away from. This is just creating a larger structure, in my opinion. The larger this gets, the larger as it correct, it would just be a better probability that we're still going to get the upside afterwards. So still keeping an eye on this one. Like I said, holding this one to see what correction will form here. Overall price action, I still really prefer what I'm seeing here on Euro Kiwi. Okay. Hey Sergio, yes, I am fine. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Hi. Good to see you guys. So that's all the positions I'm in right now. Just these two positions. So let's get started. Why don't we get started? I'll jump. Let's go through the currency first. I guess this is what mostly people want to take a look. I'll go through the other markets at the end. So commodity, indices, and crypto, I'll leave to the end, guys. So let's start with Aussie Dollar. This is one that I think a lot of you guys are looking at. So what are we seeing here? This is just when we talk about structure not finished, and I talk about when we're seeing a larger corrective structure. There's a lot of these push down from the sell, right? There's a lot of push down, even push down. But did they break out structure? Did they have continuation and then break out the continuation? No, we did not, right? There's a few of these kind of potential correction that could have been breakout, but still not because we understand structure. Still not finished, still correcting. So how am I going to see this? Personally, really just be a little bit more patient. You see this push down here. Normally, I'll be waiting for a correction here to continue. Nothing formed. We just kind of reverse back up. So um, really just be patient, just waiting for another strong breakout. Very similar like Kiwi Cat that we just went over. If we take a look at Kiwi Cat, you understand that once this structure is finished, once we see that first confirmation breakout, there's a good probability that the impulsive phrase will continue, and we're going to see the next impulsive phrase. But before all this happened, all this corrective price action we've seen this over and over in the market, right? So nothing changed here. Is this is just a corrective price structure, and we're just not getting that strong impulse out of that correction yet. But once we get it, and once we see a confirmation continuation, we're just going to see the trade kind of just get into that impulsive phase, right? We know the market tends to correct, or we correct a lot, but see, once the correction finishes, once we have this impulse correction, we're likely to get the next impulsive phrase. Okay, so I see Aussie dollar still not ready, in my opinion, still waiting for a further commitment or further momentum, so to speak, from the market itself. Okay. Gold is tricky. I'm going to go over gold later. Okay, so still a lot to go over. Let's go over Kiwi dollar. Kiwi dollar, again, still very corrective, still not breaking out this structure. But overall, if we've seen price action in the past, we understand that this is just a larger standing kind of channel that's correcting itself. Okay, and we're in this larger higher time frame ascending channel. So everything is looking very, very good. It's just whether the price can commit itself now, breaking out, or can we see some sort of correction forming here, and then we potentially just going downside afterwards. Okay, so a couple options here, but waiting for a little bit more commitment from the market, right? The dollar is a little bit tricky. We know the dollar has been weak, right? We're not seeing any bullish strength in dollar yet, right? But this is, to me, still pretty nice bearish move. Okay, very, very, very aggressive in my opinion on the lower time frame. So we could just see a correction here, and this could be bringing it to downside as well. But the safer side, in my opinion, just break all of it and then find continuation to go below it. Again, same thing as Kiwi Cat that we just went over. Understanding that the risk reward is favors for the sell, right? We understand that price has been in this overall corrective structure all the way to the top, and this is just more corrections, structures within corrections, structure within structures, correction within correction. It gives you much more confluence that this next drop is likely to happen. Okay, so that's Kiwi dollar. Let's go over a few more other dollar ones that most of us are watching. Okay, so let's look at Euro dollar. I know we talk about this during the weekly outlook. We talk about that price break the previous top. Is it time to buy? No, I don't think so, because I'm not seeing much after we break out of that previous top, right? The price is not really going anywhere. It's looking like it's consolidating here in this area. Is this a structure here? I don't think so. I see it more as we're seeing a top here on the lower time frame, and price is just trying to find a little bit more momentum for the sell. Okay, because it's correcting, it's not moving up, it's not moving aggressively to the upside, it's not really forming a continuation correction. Okay, so further development weighted here is more proper. Are we going to see the bearish move coming in now? Then I want to see we break the previous low, kind of creates like a scoop, inverse scoop pattern, and then we just right back into the overall price action that we have been all this time. Okay, so looking forward to see what will happen here. Again, need a little bit more development. I don't see any sell or buy at this moment. Certainly not buy here. I don't see much any buy potential here. It's just really corrective in this area. Pound dollar was looking for a sell here really, and I like this overall ascending channel. We know that we had this previous double top, and then price is reacting to that previous double top. We had this really lower time frame ascending channel. And remember when price was in this overall price action, I mentioned don't jump into these sells because they're not going anywhere. They're a little bit tricky because all these potential sell setup that I point out, they're not going anywhere. But once price break out structure, then you can potentially look for a continuation correction. So I was watching this really carefully. I see price break out. I was kind of looking to see if they can develop any kind of correction. Nothing happened. It just kind of trickles up and trickles. So more kind of consolidated price action. So of course, no trade for me. But Is this some sort of weird slanted correction? It's very hard to tell at this moment. What it could look like is a slanted head and shoulder pattern. This is something that I was looking at, and if we look at into the lower time frame, at the top of that higher time frame uh, head and shoulder, there's actually a smaller head and shoulder within the large head and shoulder pattern. So this is a really good price action. It's just a really choppy kind of price action. Okay, so maybe to do with the pound news, maybe to do with all these Brexit stuff, but the key here is don't get sucked into all this consolidated price action. We broke down here, no correction here, so certainly you want to wait for a little bit more positive confluence to happen, right? We're not going to jump into anything like this. Personally, I want to see if we can just kind of continue lower, break the previous low, and then can we form a lower correction? Then that will kind of carries the bearish momentum to the downside. And don't worry if you're not jumping into these trades, guys. If you zoom out on the higher time frame, you gotta see it from what it is from a higher time frame perspective. Is we have the previous top. If we break out this overall higher time frame structure, look how much second-best reward we can potentially get. Right, this is just a larger correction for the COVID drop. Right, this is a COVID drop. We just correct all the way ourselves past that previous top, and now we're forming a double top M-style pattern. Potentially, we're dropping once more. Okay, so think of CF on the risk reward side from the higher time frame perspective, right? You're not going to hold the trade all the way down here, but what you're trying to do as a trader is to get into some of these trades, get out of some of these trades, right? And then continue be consistent on that. So that is pound dollar. Euro pound I will go over, okay? It's going down the list here. So let's go dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, I want to point out this is not on my watch list because I'm not really seeing much here, to be honest. Let's just zoom out here. This is the previous kind of swing low on the higher time frame. We were kind of just correcting here, and I was originally had a expectation of kind of price continue going up if this was a reversal correction. However, if we just zoom down here, lower time frame, we kind of just been continue dropping. When we had this bottom here, this was a previous low. When price popped to the upside, I think most of us were looking for a continuation out of this structure here. Okay, and it just didn't happen. It just kind of just trickles down, and start dropping, and this makes this kind of invalid, right? I know a lot of us likely were looking at this as an inverse head and shoulder, potential kind of right shoulder or a channel or a flag kind of structure to push the price up. Just didn't happen this time, right? Probability in trading. How I'm seeing this, because we break the previous low and it looked like we're kind of just consolidating here, so not really favoring anything at this moment. It can form a correction here, and this could be a more downside kind of structure because we break out the structure, we broke the previous low, and we form a continuation correction. That's kind of the biases the market is giving you that potentially this can be continued downwards more and more. Right, that's one option of seeing this. Other than that, I'm not really seeing much of it. I do still see the dollar can get strength though, right? Don't get me wrong. I talk about this about the dollars that I still favor some of these dollar pairs that we just went over for potential dollar strength. But personally, I don't like to trade dollar Swiss because usually when dollar gets strength, yen gets strength and Swiss gets strength, right? Remember when we look at all the COVID time, those are the three currencies got really strong. And I don't really like to trade dollar Swiss or dollar yen during those times because they're pretty much two strong currencies fighting against each other. So that's dollar Swiss. For someone who asked me about this in the group. Dollar peso, yes, someone asked about this one as well. I still keep eye on this one as well. I have to go through in order, okay? Fight because U.S. oil is commodity. I'm gonna finish all the currency first before I jump to commodities. So dollar peso here. I understand that price is getting squeezed in this kind of a falling wedge kind of structure. Very corrective. We know we've been kind of just dropping this as much, but this to me is not a continuation to go down, it's rather a reversal. And if we go to lower time frame, we're getting in very squeezed kind of price action, which is good because what you ultimately want to see is you want to see strong push out for the price. That's kind of what you want to wait for, and then wait for continuation. That's going to be kind of taking off in terms of price action, if we've seen this in the past, right? We've seen this push in the past as well. When price is in this overall descending channel, we kind of correct all the way down. There was another descending channel, and then once it's ready, price is going to be in the impulsive phase. So I'm kind of expecting that the same thing happen in the market, but a little bit more commitment. Rather, this gets squeezed more and more and more, and then strong push out would be very ideal, looking for a continuation on the lower time frame. Okay, so this one really, I still really like this one as well. Okay, dollar, Singapore dollar. Yes, this is the last one I want to go over. Still seeing this as the buy. I posted this by accident with a sell, but it's supposed to be a buy. But anyways, we see price is all the way at the bottom here. Okay, at the previous kind of price action before the COVID kind of takeoff, right? You're seeing similar structure here, right? This is a descending channel now we're seeing. Same thing as the descending channel we're seeing here, it just varies in size. But price action structure-wise, we understand this is a reversal structure. And all this kind of corrective price action to bring the price all the way down to the previous low before the COVID takeoff, right? You see how it took price 57 days to reach the top, and then it takes 5 times more to reach the bottom, right? Because this is all corrective move, right? It is a lot of impulse and correction on the lower time frame in order to bring the price down, but on the higher time frame wise, this is just all corrective price action to bring the price down. We're at the previous top low, where the trade takeout. This could be a very good double bottom here, and waiting for the commitment from the price would be very ideal, waiting for that push out here. Okay, same thing as dollar peso. I really favor these. I don't want to say exotic, but they're just not the main dollar pairs, because during those pandemic time, during those high momentum time, they actually tend to take off really good. Okay, it's same as dollar peso we talk about, right? This is dollar peso during COVID. I think even for this is dollars are here when the takeoff, right? So I like these kind of non-primary dollar pairs because they do tend to have strong momentum coming in favor of the dollar when things happen. Okay, so that's dollar Singapore dollar. It's just still waiting for a commitment from the market. Nothing changed. I've been talking about, I think if you guys been following me for weeks, I've been talking about the same thing kind of weeks, but it's just not happening yet, right? And a lot of traders are getting kind of trapped in this kind of consolidating period, right? All these dollar pairs that we went over, all those correction that price was in, right? A lot of traders are actually just getting caught in this area. And I have people messaging me about that situation. And it really just shows you what the market is it's waiting for, it's catching a lot of traders in this area because a lot of buying and selling happening here, and the trades are just the trades are getting filled, the orders are getting filled, the market is kind of taking all the buy and sell. But once all that is finished, once all that is ready to take off, right, you will see that strong momentum coming in the market. We always do. Okay, we always do from a price action point of view. Okay, so just keep in mind of that, right? We understand before the COVID, we had this ascending kind of channel, right? This is the end of the year. We'll already start dropping, and then when COVID happened, it just had a correction. We just continue to drop afterwards. Okay, so price action, it gives you a clue, it gives you a little bit of hint before the next impulsive phrase is likely to happen. Okay, so nothing changes here in my opinion, in my years of experience, just waiting for this correction to finish, and we're going to see a very good probability we're going to see the next strong impulsive phrase. Okay, so that is all the dollar pairs, guys. Any question, let me know, and otherwise I'm going to continue to the other pairs. Double top on Euro Yen. I'm going to go over that, okay? So I'm going, you see my watch list. I'm just going in order here, okay? So I'll get to that in a bit. So Aussie CAD. So Aussie CAD was a little bit tricky, but it's very similar like Kiwi CAD and kind of price action. They're very correlated, right? I had Originally, I was looking for a sell here. We had to break out of this larger structure. This is more of a slanted head and shoulder pattern. We break the previous low, we broke down, and there was a lower time frame correction. This usually would have been a good sell for me personally to take, but I was in Kiwi cat already, so I was kind of more just watching on the sideline. It did break the previous low, right? It did break the previous low as we continue going. So if you were in the trade, you should have set it to break even. Instead, price kind of just bullish push up, but then just kind of bearish reverse, right? And I talk about this when we talk about price action is that when you see a strong push up and then you didn't see a continuation correction, instead you see a reversal impulse followed by reversal correction. This usually is the case that this bullish push is no longer valid. We had a bearish reversal, bearish continuation correction, and we're just reversing the price. So it seems like exactly kind of what I'm seeing here, just on a more lower time frame scale. So push up, reversal, push down, followed by a correction here. This is kind of this potentially we're going to drop below this previous low. Okay, so I personally won't jump into anything like that though. I want to wait for at least price break this previous low and more continuation. Kind of gives you more clue, right? Because again, you have lots of room to work with. You have all the way to this previous low. We're just at the previous kind of swing high area as well. So looking like a W style pattern and then an extended kind of channel structure before the drop. Aussie Swiss, very similar. The Euro CAD, but Aussie Swiss is okay. I think I prefer Euro Aussie a little bit more, so I'll go over that after. But previous top here, right? Price is reacting to this area. This is the first push down for the price. A little bit choppy here in this current price action, but looking for continuation down, of course. Okay, so if you're holding the trade, you tend to hold it for a more period. You want to hold through this kind of period consolidation. Eventually, we're going to see a little bit more bearish momentum to jump in. Okay, so this correction was good valid, by the way. That was one of my position I was in to get break even, but that's just within my plan to, again, set to break even if we break the previous low for safer kind of risk management. And if I was to not set that, if I would just leave my stop loss here, I would be in pretty good profit, or at least, you know, decent profit than a break even. But that is how trading is, guys. There's no right and wrong. It's just you have a plan, you follow it, and sometimes it'll work out, sometimes it won't, right? It's all probability in my sense. Let's look at Aussie Kiwi. Aussie Kiwi was actually looking pretty clean. I was looking for Aussie Kiwi actually, but because I was in two other Kiwi pairs already, so I wasn't trying to get involved with it. But it still looks very clean for the upside. We talk about this as a falling wedge, descending channel slash structure, very reversal-like. We're at the previous kind of a swing low as well, and there was a swing low around this area from the previous low, and then price popped to the upside, and looks like it's forming that continuation. Okay, so really just waiting for correction to finish. I talk about correction. You know, we're not 100% sure when the correction would be finished, but we have a pretty good understanding of it. So I was originally looking at price like this, and this could be just all the structure that it needs to break out. And then I started realizing that we could potentially form just a bigger, deeper structure now, because all this is just one big impulse on the lower time, on a more of a forward chart or a higher time frame, and that we need a little bit deeper correction to correct that price. So nothing changed from a price action point of view, right? Because structure is ever evolving, it's ever changing. Okay, so can we get another swing low here, making a double bottom, and then completes the structure, and we're taking off from this point forward. So looking forward to see what will happen. Potentially this can be a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, so inverse head and shoulder. Bottom of the overall structure, we're pushing up. This is clearly an impulse out of the structure. This is clearly a correction in the building, so waiting for a correction to finish and look for the next recent top as a potential target. How many trades a week do you think is a good amount to avoid forcing a trade? I think that's a good question because it's all depends on your plan. So some people who are more aggressive, then obviously they want to take more a bit more trades, but they have good risk management as well, right? So it's in your plan, like what are you trying to achieve from trading within the month, right? Are you looking for consistent growth, or are you looking for a little bit more risk but potentially more reward, right? In my opinion, as the account size gets higher, we tend to be more on the conservative side or just looking for the consistent return. So I would say, for me personally, for my actual accounts that I would trade, I would say that if you can limit, I'm talking about month, if you can limit yourself maybe just 8 to 10 trades a month, but they're really high value, high probability setup, so that would be a much better, right? So two to three trades a week, that could be an amount that you can work with. But different risk management. I talk about this in my risk management video and trading plan video. Like different accounts have different management. So you can have an account that willing to risk on two of the same currency pair, okay, or you have an account that you only want to risk one, right? Because by trading, let's say, two Kiwi pairs, you're potentially putting yourself at risk with Kiwi currency, right? But if you're only entering one, then you do reduce your variance in terms of that, right? You reduce the variance of losing on the Kiwi pairs twice. Okay, so it's all about your management plan and things like that. All right. So Aussie Yen. Again, structurally, we're still just in this expanding structure. Price has been corrective all this time. I was looking at this as an M-style pattern. This is ascending channel, top of the overall structure. Can we get that breakdown from this point forward? Okay, I again need more commitment from the price. It's not committing yet. I want to see the breakdown followed by correction. That would be more ideal for this point. Other than that, not seeing too much on the other yen pairs. CAD yen is an interesting one. I think we talked about this in the group a few times. And then, and I liked one of the person point out is, I mentioned this in the weekly outlook, but I'll mention this again. It's prices are an area where it can go both way, and there's no point of guessing. You don't need to guess which direction it's going to go. You just have to wait for how the market will develop into the price action. So personally, I'm seeing this potentially reaching the previous top, double top. This is pretty ascending corrective-like structure. Can we continue correct itself all the way to this top, and then looking for reversal price action to put the price down? That's one way of seeing this. Or the other way is that this can be a continuation structure for all this move. And if we can just break out of this previous top, form another lower time frame continuation, and this trade can take off on the top. So there's no need to guess, right? There's no need to be like, okay, I'm gonna decide that it's going to be a sell, and if it goes up, you don't need to, we feel sad or negative about it. There's no need to, right, guys? That's why I think trading, the biggest part is, I'm perfectly fine having an analysis, a forecast that didn't work out. Okay, that didn't work out, and then price continued the opposite way, but gives me positive price confluence to the upside. So that will make me just singly change bias and then understanding what the market is telling you, and then move on and trying to capitalize it. Okay, and I find a lot of beginner traders couldn't accept the fact that they were wrong, and once they were wrong, they feel like their ego is hurted. Right? There's no point about that. Okay, think about that from a business point of view, from any type of uh, job point of view, right? That's how it is, guys. It's all perceptions. It's mindset on these other. Thanks, TradingView. Appreciate the coins. Okay, so that's what I see on CAD Yen. Let's go to Pound Yen. So Pound Yen, we talk about this all the time, that price is still in this corrective price action. And this will have an overall channel structure. And latest price action was looking clean. They had this kind of ascending channel, and then we had this price breakdown, and looked like we could form a head and shoulder, just like pound dollar. We talked about pound dollar earlier, so looking like it could just form exactly that. Okay, so keep an eye on this one. Again, I wouldn't want to jump into these kind of sell, right? There's no really sell in my opinion. What I would prefer is kind of just break the previous low and continue down this way. That would be much of a safer trade, but so there's a little bit more commitment and a little bit more momentum from the market. But ultimately, pound yen, every time I talk about this, really nothing changes, right? This is a big impulsive move resulting from this correction, and then we're just making another correction for the further downside opportunity, right? Even to the previous low, there's massive risk reward to be made here, and patience is key, guys. No point jumping into the trade when nothing is ready yet. You're gonna likely to get tagged in and tagged out, and then you're gonna be very emotional once price finish correcting here, and it takes off, and you lose, 2 or 3 trades in this area. You'll feel really down because you're like, oh my god, my analysis was correct, but because of my emotion, because my trading psychology, I couldn't hold my emotion. I tried to enter. I'm afraid the trade will take off. I fear FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, things like that. And then you take a few losses, you're very upset, and then trade take off after. It'll just make you even more upset. You're not even in the trade anymore, but as the trade continue go lower and lower and lower, your emotion gets more negative, as more negative because you didn't get into this position, right? So eliminate all those emotion. Just be patient, right? Understanding there's opportunities in the market every day, everywhere. Even if you miss a trade, so what, right? Every other day, every other positions, every other pair, there's opportunity to capitalize. Okay. Let's continue. So let's continue Kiwi Yen. Kiwi Yen still probably the best yen here for a potential sell. I like how structurally we have this lower time frame ascending channel. We push down and potentially forming a correction here. I want to see how this correction develops. Can we just continue down more and more? That would be ideal to see if we can just get that bearish kind of price action continue. Because higher time frame wise, we're at that previous top again, and you can see price is really not any kind of bullish price action. It's very consolidated. It's very reversal, like in my opinion, that when larger momentum comes in, we're just going to see structure start breaking out of this, and then ultimately breaking all the way down to the previous low. So again, keyword is patient, right? Nothing as of yet. It is looking like it's forming a correction here, but is this a continuation for this move, or can we just gonna get a small reversal to the top, double top, M style pattern, still dropping from that point forward? All right. So Euro Aussie, I think Euro Aussie is a much cleaner setup than Aussie Swiss that we just go over. Aussie Swiss, this kind of price action is a little bit choppy, whereas in my opinion, Euro Aussie, I like this kind of a very clean kind of structure that's making here. So we talk about Euro Aussie when we're looking on a higher time frame. Price is right back to the previous lows of structure, and we clearly have a potential double bottom here, sorry, and it's kind of a neutral correction in the making. And within this channel, again, I don't know why I keep saying double top, double bottom here, and then we have this push up followed by a correction, another push up, and this is a clear kind of impulsive break out of this kind of neutral correction here. So that's all good news. And now we're just forming a very good swing highs and swing low correction. So very good probability that this is going to take off here. Okay, so keep an eye on this one, guys. I really like this one as well. Okay, and you'll definitely see further upside. You just have to wait once again when this correction is over. We're forming a larger correction, but it's very consolidated correction, which is good because we're not dropping down more, we're not going high more. It's just correcting itself here. Once this correction finish, I'm likely going to see the next impulsive break. Okay, so this one definitely on my favor to look for in the upcoming days as well. Okay. Yeah, but ultimately, just give you guys a heads up on this one is that ultimately I still see this as a downside move. This is a larger impulse now. This is a larger correction. We are likely to get a next push up to the previous top, double top of the overall price action, and then still dropping from that top afterwards. Okay, so that's kind of what I see for the midterm and long-term approach. But first, let's see if we can even get there from here, from this point forward. Okay, so that's Euro Aussie here. Let's continue. EuroCAD. Someone requests about EuroCAD in my Telegram. Um, I'm not see. This is not on my watch list. I'm not really seeing EuroCAD much, to be honest. Um, I'm not even sure which direction you're looking at, to be honest. But personally, it's a little bit choppy kind of price action. Okay, this is all kind of choppy price action. I was originally more looking at as a sell, right? This is a sell, in my opinion, to go down. But once we hit the previous low, we did not continue. Okay, so this to me is just very choppy price action. Okay, I'm not even seeing a bias for a long, or I'm not seeing a bias for a sell personally. Originally, someone was asking for a buy, and the same kind of response was, sure, there's a lower time frame buy potential, but what does the higher time frame tells you? Well, this is just a big kind of consolidation period. There's really not much momentum, so to speak. There's some lower time frame moves, but that's about it. There's really not much going on working in favor of anything. So I would just wait for a little bit more development from the market. Okay, I'm really not seeing any sell or buy. If it can form a correction here on right shoulder potentially, looking like this, then yeah, this looks like can go down a little bit more as a head and shoulder. But even with that, I'm not really a fan of that. Okay, I'm not really a fan of what I'm seeing in overall price action anymore. Originally, when I had the sell bias was when prices like this. This was a very clean sell. We had a double top here, and then we price push down. There's a few lower time frame correction. We push down, kind of larger, kind of a channel structure. Looks like clean to the upside, to the downside. But as price gets more consolidated, I began to lose more and more interest of it. There's just better pairs to trade. All right. So that is Euro CAD. Euro pound, let's talk about Euro pound. Even made a post here for Euro pound. I do still favor Euro pound for the upside. There was a correction here. Don't know if you guys got into this, but I think some of you may. Saw you guys talk about this. Anyways, we had this overall descending channel. We break up of this descending channel, and we had a correctional structure. It's a little bit choppy, so to speak. It's moving up, but it's moving up very like euro pound, right? That's kind of euro pound price action, even if it's in the impulsive phrase. So we push up, and then we kind of have this push down followed by a continuation correction. That kind of leaves me a little bit of a doubt. But because we break out this overall structure, I still have a very good bias that we can potentially reach to the previous top here. That's kind of what I'm looking for or waiting for. If price can push up all the way to the top here, that would be decent to take to look for a reversal from the top here. Okay. If you look at structure here, um, I was more looking for a strong impulse like this, breaking out this structure, and we didn't really get that here, right? And that's always kind of how what I keep in back of my head as well is we didn't impulsively break to the top. We broke up, we had a correction, but all this move here is not very impulsive, right? So you just have to keep an eye on that, understanding this is what the market is presenting to you. Uh, are you looking for a buy position here, knowing that the buy to the previous top now is getting less and less favorable because of the price action isn't moving up impulsively? Okay, just keep an eye on that, all right? Euro Kiwi, talk about this already. Still just waiting to see what the price will do in this overall structure. Uh, like I said, the second position I got in just got off for break even. Looking like this can be a corrective structure. I'm just waiting for a larger formation of it. And this can be just one big impulse that's making a larger correction. We can still take off from here. So I will still keep an eye, potentially looking for another scaling position. If this correction finish and I like what it's doing, I like the strong bearish, bullish momentum breaking off on the lower time frame, then I will look to re-get into it. But for now, happy to just kind of keep that first position on 1-to-1 and then look to see what will happen. Kiwi can talk about this also, right? We know that price is pushing down. We had this retracement and push down once more. Can it form a right shoulder here for a left head and shoulder pattern to push down more? Looking to see what the lower time frame would do. If this continued to the upside, I would just look to exit the trade here to secure about 3.5 to 1 or so. I didn't want to retrace all the way back here and holding that once again. Okay, because I already hold through one of these pullbacks, I don't want to hold through another pullback. Even though I do have a good buyer, still looking for a sell from the top here if we get the right price action. Okay, so that's Kiwi CAD here, Kiwi Swiss. Sorry. Okay, let's continue. I was just looking at something on Telegram. So Kiwi Swiss, talk about this very similar like Euro Kiwi, right? We had this kind of double top. We had this ascending channel. Price broke down, potentially a continuation pattern. So we break off on a continuation pattern, and looks like we're just forming more structure to potentially go down. But we're close to this previous low now, so I want to be careful. Is we rather see the push out of that, push below that, followed by correction would be more ideal entry than trying to jump into here. I think the first position should be here. This is a clean valid kind of entry position, but here getting close to the lows, I would be a little bit more conservative on the entry. Wait for the price to break, wait for a correction to get in. Still good risk rewards to the downside. And if we really zoom out here, if this is just a larger larger structure for overall price action, if we break to the previous low and if we break out from the previous low, there's more downside to be made. Okay, so look at it from a higher time frame approach. We don't have to get in every single sell position. We don't have to get involved with every position that's available, right? We just need to get in at the right time and capitalize on that accordingly. Pound CAD, not much seeing pound CAD here. Was looking for sell here actually in the closer to the end of November. Didn't really get the entry that I was looking for. So, but structurally looks nice because we had this impulsive move, we had this correction. We're finally potentially breaking out of the structure now, and that was my first kind of initial point. And can we build up a continuation here to continue downside, passing the low? Again, very similar price action. Then a lot of pound pairs looking more as weakness or weak for the pound. Pound Swiss, same idea. Talk about this in the weekly outlook. Was talking about this. Sorry, was talking about a short position here. Just didn't get involved in this one. But looking back at it, yeah, we had this kind of price to the top. We had this kind of mini double top or reason double top, slanted head and shoulder, push down, and then continuation correction. We're dropping down. So the way how I see it is there's not too much room now to the downside, even if you're looking for a sell because the sell already happened, right? What you're looking for now, I think, is waiting for the previous low. Look to see price can continue to a low. I would prefer that to happen. And then potentially just looking for the reversal from the bottom. Overall, this is still like a parallel channel structure that we have been in since April earlier this year, and price has been somewhat corrective in this overall price action. So still think that a potential reversal can happen if we look on the higher time frame possibility. This is pretty much the all-time swing low, right? This was a previous swing low. This is all-time low, and we had this coronavirus. We pushed the price down all the way to the bottom, and then potentially hitting a double bottom, push up larger, higher time frame kind of flag or channel structure. Once the correction finish, potentially more upside. But that's more midterm and long-term approach, of course. Short-term wise, I do see this move continue to the lows here. Okay, so that is all the currency pair I'm looking at, guys. So I'm gonna start going through commodities and things like that. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. All right. So let's continue. Let's look at gold really quick. We talk about gold. Talk about gold as. Let me zoom out here just to give you guys a clue. When this sell happened, and then when I saw this continuation, I mentioned I was looking for a larger kind of continuation pattern to fill out before more downside. We didn't see that happen. We see the push down, and then we kind of reverse up. And I was looking at this ascending channel. I talked about this in the weekly outlook. I'm not interested in taking any of these sells because I was want to see the structure build up something more deep, more structure-wise, something like this, right, or something like this, where after a strong push down, usually a larger, deeper correction will happen. But this time it did not. We continue kind of trickles up, and that's why I'm not really too interested in any of these in gold at the moment. Okay, is this forming a kind of reversal structure now? We push up. This is more ascending channel. Is this going to start pushing down now? Not even interested in any of these sell, to be honest, because I'm not really seeing much at the moment. I want to see structure. I want to see price action. We had an impulse down, good. We pretty much have a reverse impulse up, not good, right? Because if I'm looking for sell, I don't like to see an impulse, reverse impulse, because when I talk about impulse followed by reverse impulse and then followed by a continuation correction, we can potentially see trend change. And I don't like to see that happening. I don't want to get involved in this yet. Okay, so I'll be much more patient, just going to see what this current price action will do. Is it going to start trickling down and then start trickling up, making a larger structure? That's also one possibility, right? We've seen these bigger structures in the making as well in the past, so don't be surprised if that happens. But I don't see much buy, I don't see much sell at this point. Okay. So let's continue. So talk about silver. Talk about this again in the weekly outlook. When we had price couldn't break the previous low, we had this reverse impulse up, and followed by pretty much a continuation correction where we continue ourselves. We had a swing lows. We pushed the price. Can this continue all the way to the previous top? That's kind of what I will be waiting for. Is a temporarily bullish move from silver, hitting the previous top and making this potential structure complete. And this is just one big impulse, larger continuation correction, looking for the next impulsive phase down. All right, I'm not interested in the buy here in any way. I don't see the buy. It's going to be very short-lived. Natural guys, still keep an eye on this one. Remember, I talk about I still see this as a pretty clean structure that can potentially finish. This is forming a more corrective kind of price now. So I want to see this can potentially continue to correct itself, and then waiting for the strong bullish push up from the market will give me more confidence to even approach this. Otherwise, nothing happened, right? No trades for me. Just still keeping an eye on this one to see if further bullish development can happen. US oil. So I want to talk about US oil. Remember, this was a flag here, and I told you guys I would not even consider entering something like this, just because this push is so strong and fierce. This is too small of a correction to continue more. I talked about this even since last week, that what is likely to do is forming a larger structure before it continue going off. Okay, and that's why I don't want to get trapped in this area. Really not seeing much at all. If you're seeing any entries on the lower time frame, they're going to be short-lived, right? Because you have to include higher time frame analysis in your trading. Higher time frame wise, this is just all likely to be a consolidation period now after this strong push to the upside. Okay, so that's US oil. Okay, so let's move on to the indices. I want to quickly go over those. So you're gonna hear me say this once again: is not much has changed, right? And I've been talking about this since the early November when we start getting corrective in this price action. So US 30, so Dow Jones, we're still in this larger corrective structure. If we zoom out here, we're still in this higher time frame structure and higher time frame previous top or all-time top. So nothing has changed still, right? And people have messaged me about, oh, are you still looking for sell? Are you still looking for sell? As long as price remain in this kind of price action condition, nothing changes, right? This is still a corrective structure. We're at the previous all-time top. We're still in this higher time frame structure. We're still very corrective. So nothing has changed. Even if this push up to the top, to the top of this structure, but if there's reversal price action, I will still be interested in the sell, right? It's just that correction is not finished. This is just all corrected price action, right? So there's no point jumping in here, no point trying to guess where the market is going. Let the market come to us. Let this finish develop and wait for a strong bearish opportunity from the market. S&P 500, similar idea, right? Similar ascending kind of channel, larger higher time frame structure, potentially double top or top of this overall structure. This is all very corrected price action. So just waiting for that commitment from the market, waiting for the commitment from the market. We're going to see the next impulsive raise. We just have to be patient, right? We have to be patient, waiting for the market to correct, and then drop, right? That's how all these market tends to do. You correct, and then you're going to drop, okay? So similar idea here, S&P, Nasdaq, similar idea as well. Previous all-time top, price is forming this ascending channel, reaching to the top, still waiting for that first bearish momentum, right? Similar idea here. Corrected channel, ascending channel, first drop here. And if we zoom out here, same idea before the COVID, price was building up, that continue climbing up, boom, right? As it continued to move up, the faster it falls, all right? What else I want to go over? Yeah, these European ones, someone messaged me because I talk about these pretty much once a week. But similar like weekly outlook, right? We're still at this previous top or approaching this previous top, so nothing changes. Looking to see what this correction will do. Same idea, Euro 50. I don't need to repeat too much, but similar price action that we're seeing. Trends 40 as well. Okay. So those are the indices I'm looking at. So Nifty, again, nothing unusual here. Still seeing the same thing. We break all-time top. This was the previous all-time top, but still very corrective. Still in this kind of a ascending kind of structure. All right. So UK 100. Yeah. So we break above this correction, right? So is this a continuation? Likely, but we're at this previous top now. Is price breaking up very aggressively, or are we just kind of stalling in this area, right? So this may give us clue very soon in the next 24 40 hours. Either this is a lower time frame push, lower time frame correction, and we're going to continue upside, or we're going to see the structure evolves into a more expanding structure, but ultimately is reversing the price from this point forward and down, right? Reacting to the previous double top area. Okay, so this can be happening or give us a clear clue sooner or later. Okay, so that's all indices, guys. That's all the indices I'm looking at for this upcoming week. I mean, in the next 24 40 hours. Still waiting for the US ones to develop a little bit more clear. Last I want to just touch base on is crypto stuff. Yeah, last I want to talk about crypto. Again, I saw some of you guys was looking at potential correction here for a potential buy or whatever it is. And I told you guys, be a little bit more patient. I just simply don't see this as all the correction it's going to make before we start taking off. Because all the move that we just accumulated, all this strong bullish momentum that we just happened, I just prefer to wait for a larger correction rather than some lower time frame correction to just start buying, right? I do definitely want to looking to buy more Bitcoin, right? But I also understand price action point of view that we impulse so much, it just needs the market to correct itself a little bit longer uh, before we can see the next bullish impulsive phrase. All right, that's just how the nature of the market works. You know, we see the same thing in Bitcoin, and some of you guys messaged me about what if it doesn't work for Bitcoin. No, it's not about the market is irrelevant. It's about how the price moves, right? If you look back on all the previous price action, we see the same thing, right? We see the same thing. We push up, another push up correction. We push up again. It's just unlikely price can just break this all-time key level, which is the previous all-time high. It's unlikely price can just impulse up this and really no continuation. We start impulse up from there. It's just unlikely to do that, guys. All right. So that's the only one I want to talk about because every other kind of crypto stuff, seeing very bearish, right? We're seeing this kind of bearish structure across the board, in my opinion. So I'm not really looking into selling Bitcoin. Crypto, it might matter, just more keeping on the sideline. But once the correction is over, once I see more confirmation from the market, then I will get involved with crypto stuff. Okay. So that is it, guys. Any questions? Any questions on any pairs or anything you want me to ask me about? Went over all the markets here. Still prefer those ones I mentioned for the currency pair. Looking to see what will happen, upcoming 24, 40 hours or so. What do you mean by ZN? Like this one? Well, to be honest, first time seeing this, from just looking at it from a higher time frame approach, that we push up, we had this kind of a larger correction here in the making, and we push up once more. So is this going to continue more? Possibly, but I'd rather wait for a correction before it continues upwards. Okay, we just had a larger correction, which is good. We had these kind of we had this impulse correction, impulse completing this larger structure, and then we take off from there. We break the previous high or all-time high in that matter, which is good. So we're really just waiting for a tangible correction to get in if I was looking to buy here. Okay. When price breakout correction, how can you tell if it's continuation or a reversal? I made a video about that. I'll post a link here, but I will go over this right now as well. Check out that link. That is a link that I made about continuation or reversal corrections. That will explain to you a little bit more about how you should see it. The key here is understanding what the higher time frame and lower time frame is doing. The key is also to understand that when the price reached this area, what is it telling you from a structure point of view? Okay, that's really important. Is when the overall momentum is in your side. Let's say Kiwi Cat as an example. You understand that higher time frame. This is ascending channel, and ascending channel has a very strong reversal-like tendency. So on a higher time frame, this is a ascending channel reversal. Okay, so higher time frame is very clear. And when you go down to the lower time frame, when you see this strong impulse out of that higher time frame correction, you're going to get a lower time frame continuation correction. This is a continuation correction to push the price down lower. Okay, but check out that video. That explains a lot more about what I just mentioned more in detail. So check out that video if you're interested. Okay, so any other question, guys? Any other question about any pairs? Swiss yen, sure. Swiss yen, not on my watch list, but I can see a potential developing. I can see that I like this, that there's a potential ascending channel in the making. I like this. I like that we're in this top of the overall structure, potentially a double top area as well. Head and shoulder breakdown from the top. This is all good. So, looking for a push down from the top here would be nice. Looking for a breakout from this continuation and continue downwards would be nice. That's kind of how I see on this one. Yeah, I remember why I didn't include Swiss yen now. I was looking at Swiss yen, Euro yen. They're obviously very correlated. They have very similar price action, right? You had this head and shoulder breakdown, right? Swiss yen, head and shoulder breakdown. Swiss yen looks like a little bit better price action. We had this double top, and this is more looking like it is ascending channel, whereas Euro yen more as a continuation buy. Okay, and I didn't really, I just didn't like the price action. I'd rather see the price hit the previous top for Euro yen, and Swiss yen, the top was still a little bit more space, and that's why that wasn't too much of interest for me at that moment. Okay. Euro yen, yeah, that's just what I mentioned. Euro yen, because it looks like it can continue go up a little bit more. Okay, this is Euro yen, right? It looks like we can have a lower time frame kind of bullish momentum to push here, and then potentially reverse from the top, and that's why I wasn't too interested in Euro yen. Okay. No, not retest at all. Not retest at all. It's again, I talk about these entries in my video. I'll try to get it for you. It's about there's a few possibility to get into these impulsive breakout, reversal, breakout, continuation. Let me find that video. I made a video on this as well. I think it's this one. Let's see. So this video, Watch Anime, will go over all three of my major entries position-wise, how I tend to enter positions during an impulsive break or impulsive phase of the market condition. So hope that will give you a little bit more idea on that. That's about it, guys. So any of you guys new to me, make sure you join my Telegram for all the updates. I do all my updates here, all the links, all the videos, all the analysis, all that. It's in Telegram and YouTube for all the educational video. Just go to my playlist. You'll find all the risk management, price action, trade recap, psychology things. Those are good to watch if you're in the beginning stage. Really work on your emotion is really key. Okay, so that's about it. Or you can add me on TradingView because all my analysis are posted here as well. Okay. But any questions, let me know in the Telegram chat because that's how I can answer questions as well on there. All right. So will you say SPY did the impulsive breakdown this morning? Should we consider going short or lighten our long positions? Certainly not ready for either, in my opinion. I went over this earlier, but I don't see much here at all. This is still very corrective price action I mentioned all the time, and we're potentially at this previous top of the structure now. So really eager to see what the price will do. Is this going to continue correct and then just see strong bearish push down from that point? Or are we just going to see a bullish breakout followed by a bullish continuation? So that's another possibility, right? When I talk about forecast, guys, in my video, I talk about forecasting is think about different possible scenarios of the price and what is likely to happen, what is your bias on it, and what you want to see from the price, what you want to see from the market to give you confirmation to entry, right? Doesn't need to be right or wrong. It's just waiting for price to commit either direction. It's not committing at all. All right. So personally, if you're looking for sell, commitment from the price, commitment breakout, commitment continuation, and we're going downside. If not, then nothing, no trade for me, and just waiting to see more from the market. Uh, Kiwi Cat is down right now. What do you mean down? And red candle, you're just looking at an hour chart, right? That doesn't really mean much, right? You gotta see overall price condition. Don't let one candlestick or something to affect your judgment, right? I talk about this. Candlestick is an add-on or plus, so to speak, but it shouldn't be your bulk of your judgment. I wouldn't trade based on one candlestick and then start selling, right? It doesn't make sense. Overall price condition is a lot more important. Okay, what the market condition we're in, what the price is developing, what structure we're developing. That to me is more important than just looking at the candles. Okay, just making a point here. Um, so structurally, I talk about this is potentially we can form a head and shoulder pattern, and this can be a downside move from the market, and we can just break below the previous low, and then we start dropping this point forward. That's one possibility. Second possibility, price makes a larger expanding structure. We push up once more to the top, hit a double top here, forming a larger structure, and then we're still going downside. That's also one possibility. But I mentioned this, my stop loss is just above here. I didn't want to hold through another one, potentially just break off on that point. I'd rather take my profit about 3.5 or so and then look to see an entry here or look to see price break below followed by correction. Okay, so that's a couple options there in terms of Kiwi Cat. Okay, so any other question, guys, before I close the stream? Happy to see some new faces, so feel free to interact with me on my group. All right, so thank you very much, guys. Thank you for chatting this one. I will make another one hopefully tomorrow. But I'm traveling this week. I'm going back to Canada, Vancouver, so I might not stream tomorrow. So this might be the last stream for the week. I will update you guys though in my Telegram. Hopefully, well, I will. If I don't make it the stream, I will definitely do a written quick market update for everyone and keep up to date on what's going on as well. Okay, so be safe out there, guys. Be safe, and hope to see you guys soon. All right, thank you very much.